Members, we are now moving back to Senate third reading, starting with file item 11. Senator McGuire, you prepared to bring up this item? Pass on file. File item number 12, Senator Bell. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 32 by Senator Bell relative to Autism Awareness Month.
Mr. President, members, I rise to present Senate Concurrent Resolution 32, which declares the month of April Autism Awareness Month. Autism is a developmental disorder affecting the social communication and behavioral skills of those affected by it. Over 3.5 million Americans live with an autism spectrum disorder, including one of 68 children nationally. It's now one of 68 children. It's the fastest growing developmental disability. There is no cure for autism, but research shows that receiving early treatment can significantly improve the lives of those affected. Individuals with autism often require a lifetime of specialized community support services to ensure their health and safety as well as support for the families. The resolution proclaims the month of April as Autism Awareness Month, encourages all our citizens to show support for those with autism during the month of April. I urge I vote.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item. Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President, members. I too stand in strong support of this resolution. Autism is a devastating disease. As a developmental pediatrician, I've taken care of many autistic children, and we, as mentioned by my good colleague, Santa Clara, we need to do more to help out these families, both to find effective treatments and ideally a cause and a cure, and also to be sure that they can get the help they need. Certainly, I want to recognize my predecessor, Senator Darrell Steinberg, for his leadership in this, and we need to continue that work, and certainly I know that all of us will do that together, but I just want to stand again in strong support of this important resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Senator Gaines.
Great, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank Senator Bell for bringing this forward, and I've had an unusually high rate of autism within my Senate district. And my daughter has also done some research at the Mind Institute. She's working on her PhD with regards to Fragile X, which is a repeating chromosome that mirrors a lot of similarities with autism. But there's huge strides that need to be taken in this area, and I just want to thank the senator for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Senator Gaines. Any additional debate or discussion on this item? If not, Secretary, please call the roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize, Senator Bell. Would you like to close?
Urge and I vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgioni. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. Hill. I. Hueso. I. Huff. Jackson. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. Vidak. I. Wachowski. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members.
Fuller, aye. Canella. De Leon. Hertzberg. Huff. Jackson. Morrell. Stone. I. Wachowski.
Ayes 32, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, moving to file item 13. Senator Fuller. Pass on file. File item 14. Senator Pan. Pass on file. File item, members, we're moving to Assembly third reading. We will begin with file item 15. I'm sorry, file item 16, Senator Liu. Pass. File item 17, Senator Wolk. Pass. File item 18, file item 21, Senator McGuire. Are you prepared to take up this item? Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 26 by Assemblymember Levine relative to Prescription Drug Abuse Awareness Month.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and members. ACR 26 proclaims March 2015 as Prescription Drug Abuse Awareness Month. Every day in this nation, 120 people die as a result of drug overdose, and another 6,700 are treated in emergency departments for the misuse or abuse of drugs. Overdose deaths involving opiate pain relievers now exceed the number of deaths from heroin and cocaine combined. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has classified prescription drug abuse as a national epidemic, and communities across this great state continue to struggle with this pressing issue. In Marin County, 1 in 4 adults struggle with substance abuse, and in 2012, more people in Marin County died of drug overdoses than of breast cancer or automobile crashes, which is why in Marin, the county has established Drug Safe Marin to lead collaborative efforts to combat prescription drug abuse. ACR 26 will help build on these efforts and allow us all to become more aware, and I'm grateful to work with Assemblymember Levine on this important issue. And Mr. President, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, members. Debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to utilizing a previous unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 31, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Moving to file item 24, Senator Galgiani. Pass on file. File item 25, Senator Pan. Not at his desk. File item 26, Senator Fuller. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 42 by Assemblymember Quirk relative to Science Fair Month.
Senator Fuller.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. I rise to present Assembly Concurrent Resolution 42 by Assemblymember Quirk, which would declare the month of March to be Science Fair Month. He knows how to catch my heart, doesn't he? By supporting Science Fair Month, this legislative body can support and encourage young minds to develop a growing interest in STEM education. As a teacher and superintendent, I know that these young minds are learning the value of the knowledge they acquire and the surprises they can find through science and engineering exploration. Science fairs encourage students to ask questions, set goals, and develop an action plan, experiment, and report their results. I know that if you get a chance, you will all go visit the science fairs in your town or your school because it's the most fun thing to do and because the students would really like it. And with that, I hope you also support this resolution, and I respectfully request your aye vote to declare the month of March as Science Fair Month. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to utilizing our previous unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 31, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Moving back to file item 25, Senator Pan. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 41 by Assemblymember Ting relative to Sunshine Week.
Thank you.
Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President, members. ACR 41 designates the week of March 15th through the 21st as Sunshine Week. The California legislature has been a leader in the nation in open government, enacting the California Public Records Act, the Ralph M. Brown Open Meetings Act, and the Bagley-Keene Open Meetings Act. California voters have also reaffirmed our belief that there needs to be more transparency in government twice by passing Prop 59 in 2004, which was a constitutional amendment known as the Sunshine Amendment that furthers opens government protections and the rights of the voters, and Prop 42 in 2014, another state constitutional amendment to affirm the people's mandate in open government. And in this day and age, open government cannot exist without open data. I have also always believed in the power of data and technology to improve how government can and should work for the people it is intended to serve. State agencies, including the California Health and Human Services Agency and the State Controller's Office, have shown leadership in the open data movement by creating portals that showcase government data in an interactive and searchable format that enhances its value and utility. Local government has also been a champion of open records and public meetings. Cities such as Sacramento in my district, as well as the authors in San Francisco and our colleagues in San Mateo, San Diego, Oakland, Los Angeles, have worked hard to increase transparency in government with their own open data policies. So, Sunshine Week is a celebration of the public's commitment to openness and what open government means in a technology and enhanced future. ACR 41 increases public awareness that people have the right to access and see what their government does and how it works. I respectfully ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on this item? Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I must rise with a bit of a heavy heart on this one. California has done many pioneering things in sunshine, open government. But over the last several years, there's been a bit of an eclipse of that in this honorable body. Much less is being disclosed to the public. Too much is being rushed through without public input. And not only within the legislature, but within the agencies of government. They now have put forth kind of almost an administrative construct to not allow sunshine. Such things as ex parte communication, such things as regulations, such things as administrative directives that don't have any foundation in law. I know that because we challenge them all of the time. When they come out and tell one of our constituents they have to do something, we ask for a citation of authority, and they don't have it. There's not a statute, nor is there a regulation to back what they're doing. If you tend to your affairs, you'll see that happens all too regularly. And this legislature, including with the Water Board just last year, has allowed them to promulgate regulations that are exempted from the Office of Administrative Law Review. That cuts off all public input. That allows an appointed, unaccountable body to, in fact, force an effect of law through regulation, impose things upon our citizenry. So as we endorse and support this, let's not do so reveling in the great successes we've had, but resolving ourselves to make it a whole lot better than it now is.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that the legislature has, in the past, passed some very good laws, including the Brown Act, which mandates open government so that there aren't backroom deals in local government and the public is informed about the decisions that their elected officials are making. I feel it's interesting timing that we would consider this resolution, considering my opposition to the 35 spot bills that had no content in them, only to be used in June, maybe as late as June the 14th, as we embark on passing a major piece of legislation, the budget, which is going to limit participation by the public to know exactly what we're voting on, to express support or opposition to spending over $100 billion of taxpayer money. I would like to urge all members of the legislature that, yes, we might have an R after a name, we might have a D after a name, but I have come here to this floor, to this body, fought hard in an election to get here, to work cooperatively, compassionately with the other side. And all I would ask, and I'm not speaking for my caucus, I'm speaking for myself individually, is can we have open government and transparency? Can we at least see the bills before we have an opportunity to vote on them so that we can have good exchange of ideas? And I think that you might find that many of us agree with a lot of what you're doing, but it doesn't promote partisan peace, if you will, the kind of lack of cooperation that we see in the federal government. I, for one, want to work with the other side. I want to work with my colleagues, but we have to know what we're voting on Please make us a part of the process. We may passionately agree to disagree on issues, but that's what democracy is all about. But it's very difficult for me to support Sunshine Week when we as a legislature are not setting the example of transparency and open government to local governments that we expect the same. So it's an appeal, if you will. I'm going to support this today, but my appeal from you from a personal standpoint is that I want to work with everybody on this floor to make California even better than it is today. We have a lot of problems. It's going to take both sides working together, and let's find areas where we really can get along and support each other. We know we're going to have our differences, but I'd like to have that open dialogue with you in the best interest of the state of California and the 38 million people that are depending on us here every week to make good decisions on their behalf. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Members, any additional debate or discussion on this item? Additional debate or discussion? Senator Pan, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. This resolution is to both recognize the leadership of California. I think we are a leader. There are things we could do better. I'm sure there are things all of us, no matter which side of the aisle, we're all together. And we all know there are things that we can try to do better and that we will push to do better. There's certainly been times I personally have pushed on the administration, and there's people who pushed that and so forth. But I think we need to recognize that I really do believe that the leadership, both of this House and in our governor, and do believe in open government, and that we have a commitment to that. And I think there's many things we have done to demonstrate that. And actually, even our discussions yesterday about the water package, and I was both at the Budget Committee hearing and also, of course, here on the floor. Something that we had to act rapidly to deal with the crisis. I think that people were very upfront about what that was all about. So again, I urge support for this resolution as a commitment from all of us, no matter where we come from, our party, or wherever else, to open government and appreciation of the ideals of that and our efforts to achieve that, and both our leadership and our desire to continue to be leaders in open government and being open to the public. Thank you very much, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Call the absent members, please.
Canella. De Leon. Hertzberg. Huff. Jackson. Mendoza. Morrell. Wachowski.
Ayes 31, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Members, we're going to move back quickly just to privileges of the floor for Senator Wolk. Senator Wolk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two introductions today. We're being visited by high school students first. In the back of the chamber from Davis High School, we have Sydney Short and Francis Gwynn. Welcome to our chamber. And then up in the gallery, we have students from the AP Government class at Dixon High School, 57 of them. And these students, members, have spent the last couple of weeks talking about us here in the Senate. Each student has chosen a senator, and they have researched us and made a presentation in class. So I'm sure they're looking at us today to see if we resemble our pictures. Welcome to you, and thank you.
Thank you. Let's welcome Senator Wolk's guests and to the Dixon High School. Senator Hill, for what purpose do you rise?
Purpose of announcements, Mr. President?
Without objection.
Thank you. The Senate Business Professions and Economic Development Subcommittee on California's Innovation, Technology, and Life Sciences Economy will be holding an oversight hearing upon adjournment in room 444 on what can the state do to prevent future IT project delays and cost overruns. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to announce that Health and Budget Subcommittee 3, Health and Human Services, will convene in room 4203 at 10:30 this morning.
Thank you. Senator Wolk.
Purposes of announcement, Budget Sub 2 will meet in room 112 at 10:15.
Senator Hancock.
Thank you. Purposes of announcement, Budget Sub 5 will meet in room 113 at 10:15.
Thank you. Senator Roth.
Purposes of announcement, Budget Subcommittee 4, State Administration and General Government will meet in room 2040 at 10:15.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Senator Block.
Thank you, Mr. President. Budget Sub 1 will meet promptly at 10 o'clock in room 3191.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen, for what purpose do you rise?
At the appropriate time, adjourn in honor.
We're on our way. We're almost there.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, it's with heavy heart that I rise to acknowledge the passing of one of our own, Senator Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell was first elected in '74. He'd previously served a couple of separate terms in the California State Assembly. He represented a district that was part of Orange County and Los Angeles County. It was redistricted several times. He was the first member of the Senate since 1939 to serve within his second year on the Senate Rules Committee. And Senator Campbell later then became Senate Republican leader. He was the third Republican leader ever in the state Senate. He succeeded George Deukmejian, and it was my privilege to succeed Senator Bill Campbell. Bill had a distinguished career here, and he was one of the pioneers of sunset legislation that would kind of rein in government, that everything was not going to be just forever. Bill was known as a very affable man, brought great humor to this honorable body. He was good at puns, and as a freshman kind of senator, I tried to outdo him on puns on occasion on the floor here. Now, we had a lot of fun with puns. I don't think I ever one-upped Bill Campbell in that regard. He was a very good leader for the Republican Party, and he was one of those problem solvers that did work across the aisles, that tried to achieve the greater good for this state. And then there were some budget woes as well. At that time, I remember his second year as leader was a $1.5 billion deficit. In those days, that was a lot of money. Bill went on then after his service here. He resigned, in fact, to become the president of the California Manufacturers and then later Manufacturers and Technology Association. Margene, his wife, was a constant companion with Bill. They were deeply abiding in their faith and raised their children, Michelle Lynn, Stephanie Jo, and Kimberly Ann. The children all established themselves in lives and brought forth grandchildren that were the delight, Margene's and Bill's life. He's certainly one that we should remember here, ladies and gentlemen, because he was one who was a great credit to this honorable body. I ask that we adjourn in memory of Senator Bill Campbell.
Thank you. Members, we are moving to motions and resolutions. Senator Anderson, on this item, or do you have a separate?
I'm sorry?
On this item, or do you have a separate adjournment?
I have a separate item.
Without objection. Senator Anderson.
I rise in honor of memory of Kylie Rowland. Kylie is a toddler who captured the heart of the Alpine community and served as an ambassador for childhood cancer awareness, and she passed away, unfortunately, on February 7th. Kylie was born on May 11th, 2012, to first-time parents Luke and Bree Rowland. Even from the beginning, She was a ray of sunshine to all that graced her presence. In December of 2013, at the age of 19 months, Kylie was diagnosed with stage 4 high-risk cancer. My community of Alpine rallied behind Kylie and her family. Pink ribbons were tied to every post and every tree that lined Alpine Boulevard. Fundraisers were held for the family, and signs with Kylie's picture were placed in local shops and businesses. While her cancer journey was painful, her resilience inspired the entire community. Kylie Rowland was a brave little girl who lived her life to the fullest, and through her intrepid battle with cancer, increased awareness and advanced the research of pediatric cancer. I have to tell you, colleagues, that this hit particularly at home. I lost a niece to cancer at a very young age. She was 3. And I will always remember Kimberly and what she meant to my brother and my sister-in-law and my family. And here's another little girl that gave her life to inspire others. I respectfully ask that we adjourn in memory of Kylie Rowland and that we can keep her and her family in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Anderson. Please bring her name forward and send her family our most deepest condolences. Senator Nguyen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Albert Williams. I was informed of his passing by a good friend of mine and his daughter, former councilwoman from the city of Santa Ana, Alberta Christie. I came to know Alberta closely during my times as an Orange County supervisor while she was a former councilwoman and still remains devoted to civic services and public service in the city and in Orange County. Her father, Albert Williams, was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and recently passed away at the age of 91 on March 11th. He was a World War II veteran who enlisted in the United States Navy after the attack on Pearl Harbor. After serving his country, Albert married his high school sweetheart, Catherine Jones, with whom he enjoyed a union life with for the past 71 years. Together, they had 3 children, Alberta, Albert, and Verla. Albert worked for the city of Los Angeles as an electrician, supporting emergency communication system for fire and police agencies across Southern California. He helped out with the formation of the Challengers Boys and Girls Club of Los Angeles. As much as he delighted in volunteering his time to the community, his greatest joy was spending time with his family and friends. I ask that we adjourn in memory today for our World War II veteran, Albert Williams, and send our deepest sympathies to his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Nguyen. Please bring the name forward so they can be properly memorialized. Senator Bates.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, rise and ask that we adjourn in the memory of Kathleen Blackburn, former mayor of the city of Laguna Beach. Kathleen was 71 years old when she passed away on March 16th after complications from a decades-old car accident. She served on the city council from 1992 to 2000, where she served twice as mayor. I got to know Kathleen very well when I served as mayor of Laguna Niguel, which is the next-door neighbor to Laguna Beach. Kathleen was a dedicated public servant who worked tirelessly to make her city a better place to live. She was smart, charming, and caring. Even when you disagreed with her on an issue, it was hard not to like her. An active member of her community, she was active in her kids' schools, coached soccer, and played tennis and volleyball. Kathleen's life changed forever in 1981 when the car she and her family were driving in hit black ice and collided with the truck. The accident tragically killed Cameron, her 12-year-old daughter, and actually required Kathleen to be on medication for the rest of her life. Kathleen spent 7 months in the hospital recovering before returning home. But always the fighter, she became active in public service. When she served on the Laguna Beach City Council, she helped develop the Montage Laguna Beach Resort, which opened the Goff Beach to public access despite opposition. Her leadership was considered essential towards making the resort a reality, and she considered it the centerpiece of her council tenure. Because of her efforts, the project gave significant financial boost to the city, and most importantly, it improved public beach access. Her leadership and commitment to South Orange County will be deeply missed. Please join me in keeping Kathleen's husband, Bill, her daughter, Paula Vercelli, grandchildren, Lauren, Evelyn, and Daniel, and sisters, Marilyn Peterson, Jacqueline Sawyer, and Gloria Cormier in our thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time for the family. May Kathleen rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bates. Please send the mayor's family our deepest condolences and bring her name forward so she can be properly memorialized. Senator Wesso.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Vice Chair of the Latino Caucus and also as the Chairman of the Select Committee on Binational Affairs with Mexico, I rise today to adjourn in the memory of Ariel Camacho. He was the lead singer of the popular norteño group Los Plebes del Rancho. He passed away tragically last month at the very tender age of 22. Mr. Camacho, who was from Guasave, Sinaloa, also played the guitar and wrote many of the group's songs. He referred to his songs as campirana, music for the farmers. He was idolized by youngsters in rural Mexico and had begun amassing a large fan base in the United States. In fact, the title track of the group's debut album, El Karma, recently topped charts at #1, the LA-based record. It's the first time that a regional Mexican song has reached the top of Hot Latin songs since 2012. Joining us today in the back of the chamber are Mr. Camacho's family, his father, Benito Camacho, his mother, Reynalda Camacho, and his sisters, Kenya and Cynthia Camacho. Please join me in welcoming them to the State Senate chamber and expressing our most sincere condolences to them. Quisiera ofrecerle a la familia Camacho mis más sinceras condolencias y siento un gran honor acompañarlos hoy en la celebración de la exitosa vida de su hijo, de su querido hijo Ariel. Gracias. Thank you.
Senator Wesso, please bring the young man's name to the desk so they can be properly memorialized. A la familia, bienvenidos al Senado de California. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. For purposes of introduction,
Let us just get through the adjourned memories for a second. Senator Bell.
Thank you, Mr. President. With great sadness, I rise in adjourn in memory of San Jose police officer Michael Johnson. Michael was killed in the line of duty Tuesday night in San Jose. He's a 14-year veteran of the San Jose Police Department and a field training officer at the time of his death, and was respected by many of the young officers in San Jose. He was killed responding to a 911 call to help a suicidal man who eventually shot Michael with a rifle and killed Michael in San Jose. Officer Johnson gave his life protecting the public in San Jose and was always willing to give a helping hand and a great teammate to his fellow colleagues in the San Jose Police Department. Michael was a devoted son and husband, and survived by his wife, Nicole, and his parents, Catherine Decker and Daniel Johnson. And we're planning a memorial for Michael, and I'll inform the Senate the time and place of that. So please adjourn in his memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Please bring, on this item, Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join my colleague, Senator Bell, in memorializing the life of Officer Michael Johnson. I also represent part of San Jose with my colleague, Senator Bell. Police officers every day go to work not knowing what they might face. And unfortunately, this is a grim reminder of the tragedy that often befalls not only officers, but the families left behind. So I just want to join in offering our condolences and support to Officer Johnson's family, to his parents, and to his fellow officers, men and women in the San Jose Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Senator Martin, please bring Officer Johnson's name to the front and send his family our deepest condolences. Members, Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My condolences as well to Mr. Johnson, and thank you, Senator Beal, Senator, for bringing this forward. There's nothing worse as an elected official is when you lose a member of your family, the public safety family, and the support that we need to give those families. I appreciate that. I rose for introduction. I thought all the adjournments were done. I didn't mean any disrespect in bringing a matter of introduction up. So condolences to all the members that had very important people pass. Mr. President, I'm very honored here today to introduce someone that comes from my neck of the woods. Prior to me being elected to the state Senate, I was in local government for 22 years. I served 12 years on the Temecula City Council, and I was the first person in our county in 37 years to defeat an incumbent to go to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors. And when I left the City Council, the city chose my successor. And she is here today. She has also been reelected 3 times. And a wonderful colleague, a great leader in Southwest Riverside County. And she's also a member of my staff in the district. Mayor and Council Member Mary Ann Edwards from the City of Temecula. If you please join me in welcoming her here to the State Senate.
Welcome, Mayor, to the California State Senate. Members, also let's welcome former Assembly member from the City by the Bay, Fiona Ma, who's in the back of the chamber. Let's give her a nice round of applause and welcome her to the State Senate. Senator Block.
For purpose of an announcement correction.
Without objection.
To the witnesses and staff who heard that we were going to start Budget Sub 1 promptly at 10, oops, we will start promptly at 10:15 in room 3191.
Thank you, Senator Block. Members, any other adjournment memories? Hearing and seeing none. If there's no other business, Senator Fuller, the desk is clear.
The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday at 2, April 6th. Enjoy your time until we see you again.
Thank you, Senator Fuller. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday, April 6th, 2015 at 2 p.m. Enjoy your spring recess, members.